Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I am here today to share with you how to use my brand new lidded box template. This is book 2 in my series of 3 books. My first book was my fold flat box template. This is the one that I do every single Wednesday on the Wednesday boxes. We have used it so much since it's been published. So this was the fold flat box, excuse me, and this is the lidded box. Now, a lidded box is just that. It is a base and a lid. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a box, and I'm going to show you different options for the lid. Okay, so first and foremost, welcome to my book. Yeah, it's the yellow one, ombre pink on the back. When you receive your book, it will not have this gray band. Mine has the gray band because this is the proof book. And it is just the blank templates to make your box, okay? So the first thing we need to do is go ahead and just like we did with our other book, we need to break our spine. So just come in the middle, open it up, and that's all you did. You just put a crease down the spine. It does have a score line right here, so you can just open it a little bit, but yeah, I like to break my spine. All right, so we're gonna make a little box for these 2 little self-care items I got at Dollar Tree. This is a really cute gift for your Galentine's. It's a hot and cold iPad and makeup remover pads. So we need to make a presentation box for this, okay? So let's get a pen. What we need to do is measure our items. So everything I want in the box is just these 2 things, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and measure these with what I want. So this is roughly 5 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I think that fit on there just fine. Yep. Okay. So my item size is 5 1/4 by 4 1/4 by about 1 inch deep. Let's measure that. Stick these 2 things together. Yeah, 1 inch should be fine. Okay. So I need to decide how I want my box to look. Let's see. My left to right is going to be my 5 1/4, and my up and down is going to be 4 1/4, and my sides need to be by 1 inch. Okay, so this is how I like to write my measurements. You can write your measurements however you want, but for me personally, I write my left to right measurement first, and then my up and down measurements, and then my depth. So this is like your width, your length, and your depth. Okay, that's just how I keep it in my mind. I do the same thing in my first book. My first number is always my left to right. My second number is my up and down. And my third number is the depth. Okay, right, so now all we have to do is math this, okay? This is your left to right. If you are more comfortable with different color pens, we can do different color pens, okay, to keep it straight. So sometimes it's easier when you're mathing just to remember what you need to do, okay? So we're only going to do the measurements that fall left to right, okay? So 1 plus 5 1/4 is 6 1/4, plus 1 is 7 1/4. So 7 1/4 by, let me do a different, like a light blue. Now we just need to do our measurements that are up and down. So we already did that measurement, so we're just looking at this one here. So 1 plus 4 is 5 1/4, plus 1 is 6 1/4. Okay? Now, the thing with lidded boxes, your sides are going to be the same side. So we're going to score on all 4 sides at 1 inch because we need that box to be 1 inch deep. Okay, so this is our Galentine's bottom. So this is like the bottom. This is like the tray. So I need a piece of paper that is 7 1/4 by 6 1/4. So let me grab that. Okay, so 7 1/4 by 6 1/4. Typically these boxes do not save you any paper, but they look great. All right, so 7 1/4 by 6 1/4. And we need to go ahead and score it on by 1 inch on all 4 sides. Okay, so 1, rotate, 1, rotate, 1, rotate, and 1. Okay. So now what we're going to do is burnish our sides. Where's my bone folder? You can do this step before or after you cut. Okay. There we are. So now what you need to do is take your scissors. On my bottom tray, my preference is to cut my tabs on the long side, which means whatever is the longest side is going to go on the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to cut up the score line, miter, and miter. I'm going to cut up the score line and miter and miter. Okay, now what I did to the bottom, I need to do to the top. So I'm going to rotate it around. I'm going to cut up the score line. I'm going to miter, miter. I'm going to cut up the score line. I'm going to miter and miter. Okay, I'm going to cut off a little bit of the bulk just because that's how I was taught. So you don't have to do this part, but I have to. All right, so move your pieces. I know the question some of you are asking, does it matter if I cut my tabs going this way or if I cut my tabs going the short way? It doesn't matter. For me, because I am a creature of habit, and once I am taught something one way, I typically do not change. So my bottom tray goes on the long side. All right, so we're going to glue this really well. If my glue decides to come out, there it goes. You can do one corner at a time. I like to put glue on all 4 of my sides. I don't know, this is what I like to do. You're going to line it up and make sure that those corners meet perfectly. Okay. All right. So the bottom of your box, guys, finito. It is done, right? Finished. Here we go. Let's put our little, look at how nice that is already. We got a little tray. Okay. So now let's discuss lids. Okay. You can do the lid. You know what? I'm going to show you how to do all the lids. So lid option number 1. So I'm going to put that down here. I'm going to put lid option 1. Okay. Lid option 1 is going to be your lid. It's going to be the same exact measurements, except you are going to pull it over one little tick mark. So this one's 7 1/4. You're going to go right here. Okay, I don't know if I can zoom in to see that, but you're not going to go to the 1/8 of an inch. You're going to use the 1/16 of an inch. I prefer the 1/16 of an inch because I like the lid a little bit tighter. Okay, so that's my preference. Some people do the whole 1/8 of an inch. I used to, but sometimes it comes out too too big. So 6 1/4 in that 16th of an inch by 7 1/4 in that 16th of an inch. I don't know what that measurement is. I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell me. But we're still going to do the 1 inch all around. So 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and varnish. Okay. And now, because this is the lid, the way I do my boxes, I cut my lid on the short sides. So I'm going to cut up and miter, cut up and miter, rotate it, cut up and miter, cut up and miter, Again, I'm going to cut the bulk. And I'm just cutting off about 1/4 of an inch off the tab. Okay. And again, I'm going to go ahead and put my tabs. Again, same with the bottom tray. It does not matter if you cut your tabs on the long side or if you cut your tabs on the short side. It really doesn't matter. I will show you why I do it in just a second. And it might make sense to you. It may not make sense, but it may make sense and you just don't care. I feel that too. Some days I don't. I honestly just cut and keep it moving. If I'm watching TV, I'm watching my Golden Girls, I really don't pay attention sometimes. Okay, so this is our lid. This is the part that I hate. I hate waiting for my glue to dry. And I know it only takes a second. And here we go. So now your lid is perfectly on here. Look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous lid, right? So you'll put your little finger pulls if you want to. So your box easily comes on and off. Where's my punch? Here it is. This is a finger pull where you take a circle and you just kind of make like a little indentation. Just so you know where to pull your box lid. See how there's slight resistance? That's what I want. Okay. Now I have somewhere to put my thumb and I can easily pull it off. Okay. So as you can see on my lid, my tabs are here. Okay. On my base, my tabs are on the opposite side. So when you put it together, your tabs are not touching each other. So when I put it together, I got tabs on the top, tabs on the sides. See what I mean? It's not really important, but it makes it less bulky. And that's the explanation I got when I learned how to do the boxes, okay? It makes sense to me. So I have a tab here. When I put the lid on, I have a tab here. So that's just how I was taught, and that's why I do the things that I do, okay? I don't know. Okay. There's that. Now, that was option number 1 for the lid. So lid option number 1 is going to be the same measurements plus 1 tick mark. Okay, so that's what it's going to be. So this would, you know, by 6 1/4 and 1 tick mark. I don't know what that measurement is. I'm sorry. I'm not a mathematician, but that's just how I know. Okay. So lid option number 2 is going to be a hinged lid. Okay. Hinged lids are easy. It's going to be your same exact measurement as your bottom. So whatever your bottom measurement was, it's going to be this. 7 1/4 by 6 1/4. Okay. If you want to fill all this in, you can, but you don't need that. We really just need this right here for the lid. Okay. So it's going to be the same exact. If you're doing a hinged lid, I know my G looks like an S. That's a G. If you're doing a hinged lid, it's going to be the same exact measurements. Okay. So 7 1/4 by 6 1/4 scored at 1 inch on all 4 sides. Okay. So 7 1/4 by 6 1/4. Okay. And we're going to score it at 1 inch on all 4 sides. Yes, it will work. No, it will not be too tight. I know that's a question that's you're asking yourself right now. I don't know the mechanisms why this works. I just know it works. Okay. Okay. Burnish. Though recently I learned that you say burnish, but I say burnish because I was raised with 9,000 different accents. So I say what's comfortable to me. Okay. So with your second lid option, we need to decide how we want to present our items. Do you want our items to where you open it and you can see the items horizontally, or do we want the lid to open so you can see the things vertically? That is very important because that will dictate how you cut your paper. Okay, so if you want your box lid to open so you see your item like this, then you need to cut on your long sides. Okay, if you want your box to open like this vertically, then you need to cut your short sides. Okay, if you get halfway through and you realize, dang, I want my box to go the other way, it's fine. You can make the tabs however you want. And if you do it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I can't explain it any other way. We want our box lid to be horizontal, so I'm cutting on the long side. Okay, so if you have directional paper, you do need to pay attention to your direction. Okay, so say my paper had hearts, because I can't draw anything else. Don't come for me for my hearts. Okay, so this needs to go this direction. So this is going to be the front of my box. Okay, so just cut your paper accordingly to where your directions are. Now, since I want my box to open like this, I do not need this square and this square at all. Okay, be very careful when you're cutting these out. You want to make sure you just get those score lines. So go ahead and cut your 2 back squares. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut there and there. I do have other videos where I did hinge boxes, and I may have done them slightly different, but I do take feedback, and people felt cutting first was easier. So I'm going to show you this. Okay. All right, so now I'm just gonna flip it back over and I'm gonna do my tabs for the front of my box. Okay, and here we go. Perfect, okay. So now your box kind of looks like this, but we open, right? This is open. All you are going to do is glue this flap. Let me take this thing out of here. You're gluing this flap right here to this box. I prefer the outside. Some people prefer the inside. I don't really think it matters. I mean, I'm not the box whisperer. I just do what's comfortable for me. So I do the outside. And you're just lining it up all the way to the, make sure it goes all the way to the end. If it doesn't go to the end, that means it's not closed all the way and you're going to have a wonky lid. Okay. So make sure your glue is dry before you open it all the way. Put your fingers in there and adhere that glue. If you're using tape, then you're good to go. You don't have to wait. Okay, that should be good. I'm going to go ahead and put my finger pull on this lid. I probably should have did option 3 lid first. Okay, so there you go. So now we have a hinged box. So we're going to put our item in there and your tissue paper or shreddies or whatever you want. And when your recipient sees your gorgeous hearts and your wonky one, ta-da, here's your little pack, right? There's your little pack. Okay, so lid option 3 takes a little bit of math, okay? So say, okay, here's your base, and say this is blue with gold hearts, okay? And you want your lid to be gold, but you still want to be able to see some of this box. We can do that too. So we're just going to make our lid, our sides shorter, okay? I want to see half of that bottom box, and so I'm going to do my measurements a little bit different. I know that my item size was 5 1/4 by 4 1/4, but because I want my lid to show half of the bottom, I'm going to do it by 1/2 inch, okay? So 5 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 1/2 inch, okay? Because I want to see some of this bottom box. I want to see these beautiful hearts, okay? So let's go ahead and math. I know my left to right is 5 1/4. My up and down is 4 1/4, and my 4 sides are going to be 1/2 inch. Okay, so let's go ahead and math that out. So we're only going to focus on those 3 numbers that you can see. So 5 1/4 plus 1/2 is 6 1/4. So 6 1/4 by, I guess I should make my ones a little bit better so y'all can see them. Now we're going to do the up and down. And again, we're just worrying about the 3 numbers you can see, the up and down numbers. So 4 1/4 plus 1/2 is 5 1/4. Okay. Now, and all 4 sides are going to be 1/2 inch. Now, when you cut this paper, okay, I need you to pull it out that 1/16 of an inch tick mark, okay, in order for the lid to fit. So when we are doing our paper, we need to cut it. Let me move this book. Our measurement is 6 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay. We need to pull it out that one little tick mark. So here's my 5 1/4, and then I'm going to pull it out that tick mark. Okay. So on my 5 1/4, it's here. Here's my quarter. I'm going to go to this next line right here, not the 1/8, but that little 1/16 of an inch. Okay. So if you have a centimeters board, it's the 13.5 centimeters. But 5 1/4 and one tick mark. Okay. 5 1/4 and one little tick mark. The 1/16 of an inch tick mark. By 6 1/4 and a tick mark. The Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer is a little bit hard to do this measurement because it's right in the arm, but you just got to kind of guess. I'm putting it at the arm line. It's just slightly over 6 1/4. Okay, slightly over. All right, and then we're gonna score at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. So 1/2 inch, rotate, 1/2 inch, rotate, 1/2 inch, rotate, 1/2 inch. Okay. Varnish and there we go. All right. Same thing. Cut your sides. 1/2 inch is a little small, but we'll deal with it. Same thing. Cut up your score line. Miter, miter, rotate, cut up the score line, miter, miter, cut up the score line, miter, and miter. Okay. Pull all of our tabs in and glue. Obviously, you're going to do a better job gluing than I am right now. And put your tabs together like so. Okay. Yes, I waited for my glue to dry a little bit. Shocker, I know. Okay, so all of my edges look great together. Give it a second to dry. And then go ahead and put your box together. I have to be careful because my glue's not dry over. So now you can see a little bit of your bottom tray and you have your lid. Okay, so that's the difference. So that's lid option 3. So you can have full lid. I think this was a lid. Yep. Full lid where it's completely covering. I don't want to call this a half a lid, but that's, I mean, technically that's what I did, half sides, show and tell lid. Or you can have your hinged lid. Okay, so you have 3 examples of lids that you can do. If you don't want to math a second time, then the hinged lid is your best friend. I don't know why that works for the same exact measurement. You don't have to do anything different, but it does, clearly. And then these ones, you have to pull it out that little tiny bit in order for it to work. If you forget to pull it out that little bit, will your lid still work? Yeah. You're just going to have to force your box. Manipulate your paper, guys. So, I hope you guys make some presentation boxes. Oh, you know what? I can show you real quick. I will show you what I meant when I was saying you can have your lid going this way or you can have your lid going vertically. If you want your lid going vertically, it's going to be the same as your hinge lid. So your same measurements, the 7 1/4 by 6 1/4, scored at 1. Where's my pen? I don't know. Excuse my arm. Scored at 1 on all 4 sides. So let's do that. All right. So I know I'm kind of out of order, but when I do tutorials, I just do them. I don't think it through first. All right, so 6 1/4 by 7 1/4. Scored at 1 on all 4 sides. Somebody asked me if I could do a hinged box, but with the shorter sides. I don't know. So the person who asked me, I will play around with that and come back to you with that. I'm sure I can figure something out, but for right now, my hinged boxes all have the same sides. Okay, so in this example, the box opens horizontally, right? So what if my hearts were, oh my gosh, I can't find anything. Vertically. Okay, that's fine. We're going to take our short side, cut up, miter, because this is the front of my box. Take a little bulk off. I didn't do a great job with following the score line here. That's okay. There we go. Okay, so I know this is going to be the front of my box that I just cut those tabs out. So I need to go ahead and cut these 2 squares off the back. So we're going to cut up the score line and cut the box completely off. Up the score line and cut it completely off. Okay, and now we're just going to go ahead and glue our tabs. See, I didn't cut the bulk off of this one. I just forgot. It doesn't matter. Okay. All right, and my box bottom. I think this was the bottom. And now we're going to glue it to the short side. I think that was the lid. Nope, that was the bottom. Okay. You're going to make sure you get your all 4 of your corners really well. And you put your box together and make sure it lines up and goes all the way to the bottom. Okay. Let it dry for a second, open it up, and make sure it is adhered down. Okay. Let it dry. And now you have a vertical or portrait hinge. Okay. So this one's horizontal or landscape, and this one is vertical or portrait. Okay. So that's all you do. And if you glue your hinge top on the wrong way, I don't think anyone's gonna care, okay? Be easy on yourself. If you have your item, if your horizontal item, you accidentally cut your tabs for it to be vertical, and the presentation opens like this, no one's going to care, okay? They just want the item inside. Be easy on yourself, okay? 2024, be easy. Does it look gorgeous when you open it and you see it this way? Absolutely, okay? Does it look gorgeous when you open it this way? Absolutely. Give me my iPads. So there you have it, guys. That is my brand new book, the Lit It book, series book 2 in my series of 3. Thanks for watching. I will have both of these books linked in the description box. Actually, I'll have all 3 books linked in the description box. My 3rd book is the pizza style template. So this is the series. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.